Hey, Shalom Mak, Kiyum, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. The wisdom is gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, I was watching this video last night, Redacted from Natalie and Clayton Morris, which, they become pretty popular and informative over the last couple of years. Redacted, they put out some good information regarding things that's going on as far as government, politics, war, economy. And me personally, I believe they're insiders because, they say a lot of things that are controversial and that people may write off as conspiratorial. But overall, they're still allowed to say certain things on air that we're not able to say. And I wanted to focus on this new Bird FLU, okay? And I say it that way because as we went into the last lesson, speaking in parables, parabolic to offset this man's algorithm, because YouTube is just so finicky when it comes to the prophets, because they ultimately want to put a gag order on us, to silence us. But it says this is how they will control all of us in a new WHO lockdowns plan announced, meaning they're getting ready to do a LD 2.0, okay? And like we told you, the first one, the trial run, they've done back in 2020 with just a trial run to see how people will fare, or a simulation to see how people will react to the draconian sanctions or to the draconian lockdowns they put on people, which was totally unconstitutional. Now they have this new ordeal, which a lot of farms, a lot of farmers, a lot of cows have been euthanized, and allegedly they've been going around and shooting up these particular cattle and birds with these particular juices. And now all of a sudden you have this new, it's not even a new, it's this pestilence on the rise, which there's several strands of the bird FLU, okay? And most of them are not transmissible from human to human contact, okay? That's really a rare case. In some cases that you can transmit between humans from that bird pestilence is very rare. It can happen, but you have to be some other compromising in there or some other type of things at stake to make that happen. But you just don't cough on somebody and give them the bird pestilence. That's just unheard of. And this is what they were going into. So they feel like this is just another way for them to impose restrictions on people, okay? And this is really Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, putting the spirit on this devil to set up his new world order, because we understand the first LD and the type of destruction that's brought to businesses, economies, okay, people's wallets. They gave you 3 stimmies and told you to be on, tell you to take a back seat, but yet they're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine every month and billions of dollars to that welfare state that the small hats inhabiting, that they hijack, by the way. But yet they give you Americans $1,200, $1,400, and $600 stimmy, which ain't even enough to pay a mortgage in the long run. But this is what they did to you people. And now they're getting ready to try lock LD number 2. Okay, so the whole 6 feet distance thing, hey, it may be 3 feet this time. Okay, because we understand that Esau works in parables of 6, because 6 is the number of beasts or men. Okay, so there's a lot of witchcraft that Esau has been forming up throughout these particular laws he's been passing. It's all witchcraft, and once again, they gonna scare people into subjection, because the average person now, they're like, well, look, we're not gonna comply to that shit. We don't believe that. And they're like, okay, that's fine. Well, we just gonna turn up the illness. Okay, we gonna put some shit out there, put something in your food, put something in your body, and then we gonna make you people comply to it. So what if you don't believe us? We gonna put something in your ass and you gonna believe us then, when people are literally coughing up their guts in the street. Okay, so hey, they gonna make people comply with it. And if this does somehow, some way manifest itself to be LD number 2, you could kiss this economy goodbye. Okay, the US dollar will collapse, it will falter. They will set up the digital CBDCs, which they already plan on doing that, because BRICS is already doing away with the dollar by October this year. And this comes right in time for the selections in November. So, hey, it's all on time. So, hey, if this is exactly what they say it is, we can see this shit this year. Ain't gonna be no more going to clubs and going out and popping your ass. Yeah, he's let you off punishment what, 3.5 years ago, maybe. And you people, you seem to forget that who you dealing with. Okay, so with that being said, I actually have an article that kind of coincide with that because they have to give authority to who, and I say it that way in order for that to have complete sovereignty over your medical affairs. I say it that way, and this is no way, shape, or form promoting medical misinformation or anything like that. We're just reporting on information that has been pretty much getting ready to go mainstream. So it says dozens of Colorado dairy farmers workers monitored for bird pestilence symptoms. Okay, so for those of you that like to eat beef, and what you call it, beef, and then you got milk, like whole milk. I ain't drunk that shit in decades, man. You can't pay me to drink no damn whole milk, man. And I'm pretty sure it's in some of the things we may consume, like cheeses and all that other stuff. But even then, if I'm drinking milk, it's probably almond milk, or more than likely it's probably oat milk or something. Even goat milk is good for you, but other than that, man, I try to stay away from beef if it ain't organic. If it ain't grass-fed cattle, you would never catch me buying beef from Walmart or a Price Chop or anything like that, unless, it's just like a bare necessity. But I'm not gonna just be sitting up there and, hey, let me get a pound of ground beef. Hell no, man. Them days are over with. All right. But also, it says here, red alert, the you know what treaty is now in agreement. Okay, and this is what it's all about. So once this goes forth, once they're able to implement this treaty here, which that treaty means an agreement, if they're able to come into terms with that, which they will, then that's when all this shit gonna start happening. And before you know it, this is when, these authorities will be showing up at your door telling you, look, you got to go to the nearest detention center because you refuse to get the required such and such to be integrated with society. So this is the times we're coming into. All right. So it says this makes all the difference in the world. We've been fooled. But he says, I give it a bottom line. A treaty needs the signature of the U.S. president plus a 2/3 vote of the approval in the Senate. And you better believe without a doubt this guy, Sleepy Joe, he'll sign that without a question, because his ultimate goal is to basically bring a bunch of pedos and moles and transmissions into your society and put all types of unwanted chemicals inside you. You know what I'm saying? And lock you down and take away your money. He'd rather do that before he defends his national interest in a world war. Okay, this is the type of diabolical demon you're dealing with. He'd rather give women's and trannies and shit rights over you before he defends his so-called allies, man. Okay, because they're with oppressing you Babylonians, man. And you, about Americans, you deserve it, because at the end of the day, you're so free, so brave, so liberal, but yeah, you ain't doing nothing about it. And this is really the Lord's judgment against you. The Lord is setting this guy up to put unfavorable sanctions on your ass, man. And this is why you people are mostly affected by what's happening here. Okay? Yeah, we feel the effects of it, but ultimately, shit, it is what it is with us. Like I wasn't tripping at the first LD, because I'm just like, shit, we gonna move how we move. So the only thing we do is do shows, go to camp, and chill at the crib and amongst each other anyway. We don't be out here running the streets and doing all types of craziness. You'll never catch us doing that stuff. All right. But it says an agreement only needs the president's signature, and America is committed to go along with the document, of course. It says, I've been communicating with the media person at the you-know-who and took several exchanges to clarify what's going on here. So meaning that this person is an insider. They know. So why can't this be considered a credible source, among the mainstream populace? Okay, because it's not from a so-called mainstream accredited source. They will write this off as being totally seatorial. But yet the person just admitted clearly that they talk to somebody within that organization to get this information. Now, if I bring this information out to the people, they were like, oh, nah, you can't say that. Motherfucker, we reading it right here. Why isn't this enough credible information to prove the mainstream wrong that they've been lying and speeding propaganda to you people? You people are reprobates, and this is exactly why you're getting ready to be caught off guard. And you know what? Good for you. We don't feel bad for none of you people here. All right? You deserve it, in my opinion. It says, I've been communicating. I read that. It says, but It says, but what we've been told is the who you know what treaty is actually labeled an agreement. This is dire. And when Biden signs it, it didn't say if, it says when. Okay, and this maggot brain monkey, he probably will do it before he gets out of office because he wants another term. Okay, because honestly speaking, DJ Trump, they don't want that man back in office. And even if he did go in office, I mean, I don't see Trump getting back in there. But then again, I speak as a man. Who knows? Because Trump said a lot of things that can push prophecy as well. Okay, we know Trump is the one to not trifle with. We know that he's impulsive. He will go to war. He will press the button. And he will bring back the death penalty. I do know that about DJ Trump. So, I mean, if he got in there, then, hey, so be it. You know, it is what it is. But nonetheless, this guy Biden, man, he's putting all the paperwork into play for this place to hit the iceberg. And it's already hit. It's sinking. But it says that you know what can declare a global health emergency whenever they want to for any reason, and all the rules and restrictions they lay down can be invoked. It says here in America, for instance, lockdowns, mandated juice. America is subtly a colony of the you know what. No dates have been set for this submitting their agreement to the U.S. and other countries, but it could be soon. So it says a sword is hanging over our heads, and we need massive refusal despite Biden and Emily signing our sovereignty away. And see what happens is people will reject it. You're going to have states like Missouri, Florida, you know, Republican states that's going to reject this so-called bill or whatever, this treaty. But then again, they just going to send in their troops to overpower that. Okay, they're like, well, look, if you don't want people to comply, then we just going to send people in to bully you. And the crazy part about it is, in you blue states, it's Chicago, they're through. They're going to completely comply to this. Okay, so the same restrictions you may have in Chicago, you might not have in Missouri. Okay, New York, they're going to comply. Cali going to comply. Illinois going to comply. You know, all these blue states, they're going to comply in these inner cities because these cities are literally, they're liberal cities. Even though you may be a part of a Republican state, cities like fucking Kansas City, these are ran by Democrats, okay? So this is why you have all this confusion here. You see? But it says we need senators rebelling in large numbers. And it says that we need state governors pledging to ignore all who dictates. We need the American people refusing to go along with it, which they won't because these people are stupid. It says, here's the document that you know who media person sent me showing that this so-called treaty is actually an agreement. Okay, and this is pretty much the article right here. All right, so I'm going to read the rest of it, but I'm going to get a couple of precepts real quick before we go any farther because I've kind of been going and didn't bring out any precepts. But this is the book of Ezekiel 5, and I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 11. Okay, and this is going into the 2/3 of Israel, but as a collective, you people are going to suffer in the society based on your wickedness. And it reads, it says, wherefore as I live, says Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things. You see, Jake, you see this black culture shit going on. Okay, Jake twerking on top of headlights and moving vehicles. The simp culture, the boss bitch culture. Nigga got to make $500,000 a day in order to date a hood rat. Like, are you serious? Okay. Wow, that's a beautiful. I love cardinals. He just sitting in the wind in a tree out of nowhere. Every time I see cardinals, they remind me of the spirit is like angels around. You know, I don't know if brothers into birds like that, but that reminds me because I know the scriptures goes into like the birds. They send messages and stuff like that. So definitely, but not saying that's what that is. But every time I see cardinals or blue jays around, it's like a sudden sense of peace because they stand out. Okay, and the fact that, you know, we're prophesying and doing a lesson through the spirit, the angels are watching and taking note, you know, Yahweh Shai is listening. But it says, with all thy detestable things and with all thy abominations, therefore will I diminish thee, neither shall my eyes spare, neither would I have pity. So the Lord is going to put an end to all your dainties, all your affairs, all your clubbing, hooping and hollering, all your gang culture. The Most High is getting ready to put an end to that stuff, man. He's getting ready to bring holy hell to the streets of Babylon and around the world. You see, this is the times we're living in. We're literally like a half of a thread from shit falling apart. And when you see these people, man, hey, these Edomites, they're mad, man. I mean, you can see that you can smell the aggression on them. They mad, they're pissed, they're not happy. You know, and they're getting ready to lose their mind, especially when this comes about. Oh man, Esau gonna kick this thing off. Okay, you Jakes, man. I don't know what the hell your problem is. But Esau, hey, Esau is going to be the threat out here. And it says, and a third part of thee should die with the pestilence and with famine, and it should be consumed in the midst of thee. And third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter the third part in all the winds, and I will draw out the sword after them. Okay, but it says the pestilence. When you go into pestilence, pestilence goes into diseases, plagues. Like they was talking about this body at ease X, right? Okay, which X just is a generic number, meaning anything is possible. Okay, but basically, they was talking about what is it called, a hemorrhagic fever or something like that. Basically, and something called, I call it the Mossberg pump. After 2022, they had all these speculations about this particular new illness that was supposed to sprout up on the world stage that had over 80% mortality rate, and they're talking about this whole bird pestilence can be that. Okay, and on top of that, they're probably enhancing it. Okay, they probably put it out there, and they have scientists around the lab putting more concoctions into something that they've already created, which will basically make you impossible to survive it. So this is what they're talking about. And what's so weird? The head of the WEF, forgot that guy's name, but looks like he's a foreign guy, but basically kind of brown skinned. And basically he was saying by 2025 we were going to see another plague upon the earth. But how would they know that unless they were the ones that was bringing it? And literally we are in May, so that's June, July, August, September, October, November. We're roughly 6 months away from the election, 7 months from a new year. So we're literally almost halfway throughout the year. And hey, things are going to start to pick up. But it says, here's the article I published recently that goes into the depth treaty versus agreement. And it explains that these international agreements are illegitimate and should never be honored. They're unconstitutional, and they have been a con and hustle designed to inflate the power of the president and the executive branch. Get the word out far and wide. We're being taken for a ride, a bad nightmare ride, because eventually troops will be kicking in your doors, trying to take you to places that you don't want to be. But it says, having read the document I linked to above, my impression is this: the agreement is designed for collective unity among member nations. It says it is similar to the early stages of the EU, whose message was we're all in this together. But gradually, the consensus approach vanished and the EU emerged as a super government. In this case, it says the one input on what measures from all member nations. It says they even insist that the sovereignty of each nation will never be disturbed, which is a lie, and encroached upon by what agreement. But the goal is to make the who leader of the pack. The who will say it's acting and running the show on behalf of its members, but that facade will vanish in due time. It says they will turn into global health government and issuing orders and driving tyranny. In the same way that the U.S. health agencies, the who and the who and the who, design sets of regulations that impose de facto laws no legislations ever voted on. So watch out with frogs in a pot. And then when you bring this up to these authorities, they would just write you off and say, well, in the time of no, nobody voted on this shit. Okay? Meaning that your local health departments have no jurisdiction over what they can tell people to do. Okay? But yet they get authority from these unelected officials. Okay? Which is going to be a bloodbath out here, man, because people ain't buying into that stuff no more. You see? But it says, thus my anger should be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they should know that I am Yahweh, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. Okay, so this is the anger of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because it's just enough is enough. The Lord said an end has come. You see? Ezekiel 7:15, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field should die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Okay, and pestilence is coming back in a big way. They that escape of them should escape, and should be on the mountains of the doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, everyone for their iniquity, and all hands should be as feeble, and all knees should be as weak as water. Okay, because people are gonna literally be in a state of despair. One night out is going to turn into just a nightmare for these people, because the average person, especially you women, you ain't going to see this coming. Okay, you ain't paying attention to it because you too busy about getting your body right to be a bunch of whores for the summer, which you might not even have a hot girl summer. All right, nobody got no money to be going out and doing crazy stuff like that. So you getting ready to sit your ass in the house. and take this 3-pointer to your left arm and take another one at that. Give me 6 points on the board. All right. Second Ezra 16, and I'm going to start at verses 16. Like as an arrow that is shot of a mighty archer, return not backwards, even so the plagues that should be sent upon the earth should not return again. But woe is me who would deliver me in those days. Yeah, these days are evil. Okay, and the scriptures say many great misery should be done to them that dwell in the latter time, because they walk with great what? Great pride. And Salakia, you American people are extremely proud for no reason. You all out of shape and obese. Okay, you pay taxes overly more than any other nation. You know, you can't afford your bills. You eat abominable foods. Okay, you don't know none. You're academically declined. You know, and the list goes on. You're just full of conjectures. That's all you people is about, is conjecting shit, opinions. But the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. And you people, you need to go. All right, honestly speaking, you people, you need to go. You need judgment. You know, so when you start dropping from these particular pestilence, we gonna praise Yahweh Shemi Hawashai. Okay, because you don't serve a purpose any damn way. All right, but it says the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. But what should I do when these evils shall come? Okay, and this is a question because we like, damn, we gonna be caught up in the midst of this. How Shemi Hawashai, he's gonna have to get us through it. Just like the first time he got us around it, he's gonna get us around it this time. Okay, but the Most High is gonna be more hands-on this time, because shit is gonna turn up. Okay, this time they're gonna go door to door, and you may have soldiers in the streets, in the neighborhoods, door to door, doing wellness checks. And if you ain't got this ordeal inside you and you're not complying to their mandates, you don't want to be home when they knocking on that door. You better be so out of sight, out of mind. All right, my thing is hiding in plain sight. But behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sin and scourges for a moment. But for all these things they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges. So people are not going to consider this is happening because of their evilness of their ways. So in many ways, this is a good thing, and we looking forward to it, you know. But anyway, I'm going to end it here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Lord, swear you edified until the next lesson. Shalom.